Associate Dean International and Admissions for the School of Business at the University of Dundee. I've been at University of Dundee for 25 years. And before that, 10 years in the Australian Central Bank. So I'm really a macroeconomist and finance person originally. But came to the United Kingdom. I was chasing a girl who I have married and settled down with 3 gorgeous, beautiful children. So it's a love story that brought me to Dundee. And I've stayed for 25 years. They've been glorious years. Dundee is a lovely place to be in.
Oh, that's wonderful. And again, so that's fantastic, as our students listening in are coming from all over the world to know that you came to Dundee 25 years later, you are still there and loving it. That's really great.
Well, yeah, and international students are just really the lovely part of being a teacher, being an academic. When I was growing up in Australia, I had to think of where to do a PhD in 1975. I should have gone to Tokyo. Biggest trading partner for Australia, dominated our finance sector, but I wasn't brave enough. And I went to the United Kingdom. I went to Oxford instead, but I wasn't brave enough. And so whenever I see international students in the UK, I just look at them in awe. I think they are special. And employers think they're special. They are people who have taken themselves out of their comfort zone, challenged themselves, overcome it, learnt skills, looked at the world differently, because looking back at your country is different from looking at it from inside. And these are the things which employers really, really look and value in people. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Yeah. No, it's great news. Can you tell us a bit about, so obviously Dundee is in Scotland. So can you tell us a bit about the location first?
It is in Scotland. So the United Kingdom is made up of 4 parts. England, the biggest part, and it's got the largest population, about 50 million. Scotland, which is at the north of the island, is about 5 million people. Wales over to the west, and that's around about, I don't know the exact number, maybe 2 million. And then Northern Ireland's about 400,000, 450,000 people. So it's a sort of a federation, but we don't call it that in the United Kingdom. Scotland is up the top. Capital is Edinburgh, about 750,000. Glasgow's the next biggest, is about 1.25 million. Those are the international airports. So if you come into Scotland, you will fly into either of Edinburgh or Glasgow, but you'll come through Schiphol or Paris or Dubai, Abu Dhabi, London. Some people will fly into London and then fly up. And then you just move about 1.25 hours north by car or bus, and you get to Dundee, which is on the north side of the Tay Estuary, but it's on the eastern side of the country. And there's a mountain range down the middle, and that means that we're on the dry side of the country. So it's dry, middle of winter, cool, down to 0. But if it does get down to near to 0, it means there's probably snow up in the Highlands. Students go skiing and have a wonderful time up there as well. So it's quite a nice little place. Dundee, it's only 150,000 people. So most people come from a bigger city than Dundee. And people just love the fact that it's a small campus. You can walk to and from the accommodation. There's a very strong community feel. People don't buy cars. They don't even buy bicycles. It's just easier just to walk. But it's also an old port. And so it's very multicultural, international in flavour. 3 biggest employers are ourselves, the University of Dundee, University of Abertay, and the teaching hospital. And so the town is very relaxed with the university. They're very relaxed with the international flavour of the university, and we have a huge international population here. Our biggest one is in the School of Business. I mean, that's the one that dominates.
Well, that's great to know. And I think that will slide us very nicely into the next question. So tell us about the business management program that you have at the moment. It's something that we're discussing, and almost what does that degree lead to? What sort of things they can do in the future?
Okay, so the business management program is one of 7. So we have 8 undergraduate programs. 7 of them have a January start and a September start. And the business management is one of the ones with the January start. And this program has been set up. It's applied focused. It's professional focused. It's aimed at you to learn the skills of management. Now, there's a whole lot of different levels of skills of management as you go along, but there are a lot of technical skills of management, applied and theoretical. There are also a set of skills which you learn about personal development. Now, those personal development skills come in different forms as you go from undergraduate to graduate, MBA, whatever you like.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why they come in different forms is because when you are fresh into an undergraduate degree, you don't have a lot of experience of being in management, in a company and things. And so the opportunity to sit around and talk about how you might manage is much more sort of set aside from yourself. And so it has to be brought to you as theory, has to be brought to you by people coming in and doing lectures from outside, consultants, managers, industrialists, whatever. And they come in and they will talk to you about their experiences. And then there's a small amount of opportunity for you to actually start developing your own personality as a manager as you're going through the program as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's also a whole range of topics which, of course, are going to be relevant to you about digital marketing, about management insight, in organizing the organization, all of the things that you would expect in a management program. But the really important thing is this interface with the outside world. Because you are most likely to have come with little experience of management, you have to have managers come in and talk to you. And that's what we bring onto this program as we go along.
That's fantastic. Do they have the opportunity then to get those real life skills? Are there sandwich courses or placements or internships or anything like that?
There is internships. Internships is a great question. There is a module which has a 30-hour internship in it, and it's all about personal development and then careers, and also the 30-hour internship. But more importantly, the School of Business is fortunate to have two careers offices embedded in the school. The careers office is already very well resourced. It has two careers offices in the school. One of them does industrial engagement, which includes placements and the like. And they also run the Distinguished Lectures series where the people from outside come in. The other one is just helping you with careers in general. And between the two of them, then they will help you be able to organize your own internships, either through the summer or at the end. The opportunities continue after you graduate as well. So students who want to have an internship invariably get an internship. There's help from every source to be able to go forward. The lecturers will help you, but also the careers office helps you enormously as you go forward.
That's fantastic. I mean, obviously, we know that Dundee is a city of business and innovation. And obviously, with the graduate route took off last year, which means students can come and stay on after they graduate. This is a really fantastic opportunity. So they've got their internship and they have that experience. Then after they graduate, what sort of opportunities do they have in Dundee?
So before we go into that part of the question, the first part of your question is quite right, the graduate route. And the graduate route, if you want to make the most out of that, you want to have a graduate job at the end. You don't want to just be working in a shop. You want to be able to take a job which is leading you onto your career. And that's why the careers office is so important. They are there to help you at every stage. The CV writing, the preparation of the asking for jobs, the preparation for the interviews, the whole lot from beginning to end, while you're a student and also after you graduate.
Can I get some help too?
You can get some help. You can come as well. Yeah. So down the graduate route, and then there was a second part to your question, and unfortunately I've forgotten that because I've got belly brain syndrome. I'm forgetting already.
It's Friday, I'm sure everybody's on that.
Friday does it to me too.
So after they do graduate, and you said they have great support. So that support with getting the internships and having those interviews and those statements, not personal statements, that's for application, your CV support.
References, So all of that is going on.
When they graduate, that support, they can have that, and there's job opportunities in Scotland for them as well, right?
So most of our graduates will go into employment. Most of the undergraduates will go into employment. Some will go on and do a master's, and some will go on to do a master's stroke PhD. It's a sort of a natural progression in all of those directions.
Yeah.
The ones, one of the impressive things is that people who go and do some work, so you work for 2-3 years, you get an experience of working, what it's like. You get an idea of whether or not you really want to specialize here or you want to specialize on something else. And then you go back and you do a master's program. And so the business management program leads on to any of the any of what we call conversion degrees at the university, but at other universities as well. And then you can specialize even further to do a PhD. However, always remember that the working qualification is a master's degree, not a PhD, unless you're a woman. And the reason why that is the case is because having a PhD overcomes some of the gender bias in the business world. So you get a bigger return for a PhD if you're a woman than if you're a man. But the working degree is a master's degree as you go along. And that's where you would be heading once you graduate, as you like. Final thing about the internships is that we have a series of what we call in-practice degrees, which only exist in years 3 and 4. So the business management degree is a 4-year degree.
Right.
If you start in January, it's a 3.5-year degree, and we can talk a little bit about that. But then in years 3 and 4, you have what we call in practice. So there's business management, a BSc, business management in practice. And what that includes is it's professional focused, applied focused, but it includes an 8-week internship over the summer of years 3 and 4, which is funded by the School of Business.
Oh, wow.
So if you're an international student that's come through from year 1, when you get to the end of year 2, you can put your hand up and say, please, can I go across to the in-practice degrees? And we'll jump you across the in-practice degrees, and then you get the internship as well.
Oh, so that's wonderful. So you don't have to worry about
leads to the graduate route. It's all part of the same story. Everything is employability focused. Everything is about getting your job after you graduate. Internships, in-practice degrees, graduate route. Yippee! As it goes.
And that actually was what you said was quite interesting. So the internship will be over the summer, so they don't have to worry about increasing their visa or anything like that. It's all included in that 4 years.
Well, the really nice thing is because it's part of the curriculum, it's covered by your visa. So in that year 3, the 8-week internship can be either in China, in Vietnam, in Mexico, or in the UK, it's in Manchester. And they're about equally popular. All of those are about equally popular. We've been dealing with a company called Pagoda Projects, which is really special. Their whole life mission is to get people to experience different cultures and business environments in different countries. They support you there. They set up the networking process. People come back and they say things like, this internship changed my life. This is the most amazing thing I've done. The really fun thing is they come back and they say the best thing on the course was the internship.
Wow.
Say, well, that's nice, but really better than everything else on the course. This is a bit rough, but anyway, I'm pleased with that.
You did actually mention something really interesting as well about the January intake. So some students might not know, they might think they can only come in September, which is happening at the moment. But you mentioned something that was really exciting. They could come in January.
Well, that's right. And the reason why we've set up a January intake before COVID. This has been around for a while. We set up the January intake because there were some people who were going to Australia, but in fact, they wanted to go to the UK, but they wanted to start in January. So they were really only going because it was a January start. So we set up the January intake for the people who wanted to go to Australia. But the second thing that came out of it all was that if you applied for September, didn't get your ducks in a row, couldn't get here, then you would just step across and come in January. And the third thing is that a lot of people want to have a break. They finish their schooling. They don't want to rush straight into the next thing. They want to organize everything properly. They want to arrive. They want to do a pre-sessional English course if that's necessary. They want to arrive. They want to be able to set up their home. They want to make friends. They want to know the city. They want to go to the first day with their hands around the throat of the course right from the start so that they know exactly what's going to go on and they're going to do exceptionally well. If you start in January, then there's a few advantages. The first one is that you only pay half fees in the first year, and then you pay normal fees after that. You can't have a scholarship in the first year because half fees is much less than any scholarship we would give you. But your scholarship can apply for years 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so there's a small financial advantage.
Okay.
The second thing is that you arrive, you meet your advisor of studies, they will choose the modules that you have to do with you, and you do one extra module in each of the first 3 semesters. So the first 2 years has 4 semesters. Normally, you're only here for 3. You do one extra module in each of them. And that's very easy to handle. And then when you finish year 2, you're exactly the same as everybody else. In fact, you've been exactly the same all the way through. You're just doing an extra module. And then when you get to year 3, there you are with everybody else. And the degree is awarded on years 3 and 4 only. Right. So that little bit of acceleration doesn't affect your degree in any way whatsoever. Yeah. And then you just go through and you do the whole
Which is great news. So for any students that feel like they might have missed out on this intake, they can start applying now, right?
Exactly.
Bill?
Exactly.
Great.
There's lots of time. Apply Board are incredibly efficient, and they will get you through the process and get you to the door, get you to the church on time. That's what's really important.
It really is. And you mentioned about scholarships. So just to let everybody know, we do have some great Dundee scholarships with Apply Board exclusively for those students coming through Apply Board. So do check the links that we've been posting just now. And again, like you were talking about those Jan intakes, so they're not in any way backwards, or they're going to be up to date. They're just doing that extra work, right?
You just do this extra module in each of these semesters, and the modules are chosen carefully so that they're not going to overwhelm you with lots of work. So the advisor of studies knows what has to be done, and they'll get you through the whole process as you go along. Donna has got a links which she might be able to share with people about the January start for the business management program. There's also an Adobe Sparks page which tells you about all of the January starts. But there are January starts on 7 out of 8 of our undergraduate business programs.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. So again, please make sure you start doing your application. So I'm just going to mention here as well, Dundee's Business School has just been shortlisted as the finalist for the Business School of the Year from Times Higher Education Awards 2021. So first of all, congratulations for your nomination. That's exciting news.
We should have popcorns and woohoo, yay! Yeah, so this is quite fun for us because the School of Business has only been around for 7 years. The 3 sub-disciplines, economics, international business, business management and marketing, and accounting and finance have been around for a long time. Economics and accounting since about 1930. There's a Nobel Prize winner that comes out of the school as well. But we came together about 7 years ago, and the school has been growing incredibly quickly for 7 years. So we've been growing at around about 35% a year for the last 7 years, or up to COVID. We've had a blip then, and now we're coming back to being where we were otherwise. But we were growing at about 35% a year. And this can be compared to business schools in the United Kingdom, which on average have been growing around about 1% a year over that same period. And people ask us why, and there's all sorts of reasons, but I guess the biggest reason is our focus on teaching. Everybody says that their lecturers are research-led, but the research-led really, it keeps some people up to date, but it's because these people are people who get out of bed in the morning and they say, you little ripper, woohoo, I'm off to teach management, I'm off to teach finance, woohoo, this is fabulous. And it's that level of excitement that comes into the classroom because they want to convince you that they're not stupid. Everybody should be as excited as I am about management or finance or whatever it is. So it has that level of intensity of enjoyment, which just comes from people who are research active in the areas that are teaching you.
And Will, I mean, you mentioned that real excitement about getting students involved and really excited for their lectures. Are they going to experience that in January? So in the UK, will they be able to come on campus and actually have those lessons face to face?
Oh, yes. So you asked the clever questions. I'm sorry about it. You asked the clever questions. Okay. So here's the way the story goes, how we're organizing this. So for September, and it will be the same for January, what happens is you matriculate online, and that's called registering. And then you'll meet your advisor of studies, and they'll advise you through the whole process of what modules to do and the like. And then the rules at the moment for September, and they may be relaxed even further by January, but the rules at the moment for September is that social distancing has been removed by the government, but we haven't. We've kept 1 meter distance, social distancing. And so that means that there's a maximum size of number of students in the lecture theatres. So the small modules, if you're on campus, if the small modules, you will be able to go to them and you will be able to be face-to-face in the lecture theatre, spread out in the lecture theatre. If you don't want to be in Dundee for some reason, any reason, you've got to look after your family, there's problems with visas, there's whatever, then you can follow that all online. It will be videoed or live streamed, and so you'll be able to follow it online. So we have a blended learning approach. You have all of the materials online, and then you have these live sessions, which will be face-to-face or videoed for you, or live streaming as well. Now, all of that's in place so that you can either be in Dundee, and we recommend you do come to Dundee. Come to Dundee, settle yourself in, get the full experience of being in a different culture, but you might not be able to be there on day one. And if you can't be there on day one, register, start the process, start your learning, miss nothing. And then when you arrive in week 2, 3, 4, whatever, then you'll be able to just go forward as everybody else. When it comes to January, it may well be the case that the social distancing has been removed completely, and then things will change more towards, but there will always be an online option for people for whatever reason they can't get to Dundee. And we've done this successfully for all the way through COVID, to the point where the feedback that comes from the students has encouraged us to never stop doing this. That even if you're sitting in Dundee and you can't get there because your dog is ill, you're looking after your flatmate, you're having to whatever, you can't get to the lecture on time, you don't miss it.
That's great. Well. But just to note, we are opening up, like Bill said, we do want to welcome students on campus. We do want to see them come into the UK. That's all really exciting news. And I can see now we've actually gone over our time. We've been talking so much.
No. Extend the time. Extend the time. That's what we want.
We have so much to talk about. And I think it's been a fantastic session. Hopefully we've got some students excited and ready to apply to Dundee again for, even if this September intake, there are some spots left, or the January intake, just to let you all know that the scholarships I spoke about, the Dundee Apply Board scholarships, are available for these students coming in September or in the January intake as well.
Excellent.
So it's really exciting. There's a quick assessment process, but we're offering some great scholarships there. So definitely come and apply. The business school looks really exciting. I can't wait to come visit one day. And I just want to thank Bill. Do you have any final words, Bill?
Yeah, if you get to Dundee, come and knock on my door. Please tell me your journey here. I always want to hear about how people have made their way to Dundee, because the journey there is always a lot of fun as well. And also, these are the best. Oddly enough, you will look back at your university days, and there was two things. You'll realize that they were the best days of your life. After that, it's all downhill once you've left. You will remember them as the best days of your life. You'll just think, oh, it was fabulous. All those friends, all the support, some of the work, and the satisfaction of doing it well, taking life by the throat and making sure it works for you and for everybody around you as well. Anyway, come and bang on my door.
I'm sold. I hope you are all too.
That's good.
So thank you so much, Bill, for attending with us today. It's been such a great session. And to everybody here, again, as usual, like, follow, subscribe. We're going to be doing more of these sessions. Make sure you do applications, again, for January intake. This is exciting. And we cannot wait to see you in the UK. So again, thank you all for attending, and get in touch with Apply Board for any more questions. Thank you so much, everybody.